This special episode of iFanboy is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. Head over to GoDaddy to get your own piece of the internet. And by Netflix.com. We like movies.
Hey, this is Ron from iFanboy. Thanks for calling. If you've got a question for the podcast, please leave it after the beep. Or if you've got any general business questions for iFanboy.com, leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks.
Has anyone ever left a business question?
No, they haven't.
Welcome to iFanboy. It's a video podcast from the discussion site iFanboy.com. I'm Josh. I'm here with Connor.
Hello.
And Ron.
Hello. And if you're a regular watcher or listener of iFanboy, you've heard us tease our voicemail line at 1-888-FANBOYS. That's 1-888-326-2697.
It's saucy, is it?
Yes, it is. Okay. It's saucy. So, and that's where you can call, and you can leave us a message and ask us a question, and we thought we'd answer some questions on today's show. It's an all-call show.
It's all call-in show.
And
Hey!
we have not prepared for this.
Yes, we haven't listened to them yet.
We're going in. This is going to be so you'll see whether we're full of shit or if we prepare for we look everything up on Wikipedia. Never read a comic book in our life.
Exactly.
We're flying blind.
So we're gonna dive right in. We pulled out 7 of our favorite. No, we didn't listen to them yet. So 7 voicemails, and let's just listen to the first one now. Okay.
Hey, iFanboy, this is Jason from Richmond, Virginia. I was calling because I think, like a lot of people, I was a little disheartened by the end of Civil War, a series that I had been enjoying a lot. And it got me thinking about Marvel's last big event, House of M, which I did not really enjoy as it was coming out. But I decided since kind of the hype and everything had let down, and it seems like they had at least paid off, that we're still seeing ramifications through the X books and other books, so I sat down and read it all in one chunk. And while I still didn't think it was fantastic, I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I had the first time around. So my question to you all is, are there any series or mini-series or just story arcs that you've gone back to or find read better in big chunks or lump sums than do month-to-month or installment-to-installment? Thanks, you guys do a great job. I'm a big fan. Bye.
That's a good question.
I didn't read House of M.
Okay, but it was not specifically about House of M, though. Yeah. And that makes me want to go back and reread House of M because I didn't like it either.
I'm shocked.
Maybe I'll like it on the second time around.
Well, this is a question that comes up a lot because I'll read something and say, well, maybe it doesn't read as well from issues, and you two usually tell me that that's bullshit. It should read well either way.
Right.
But
no, I never said that.
Yeah, you have.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you have.
I don't believe that.
I've said it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, some things are definitely written for a trade format.
I suppose, yeah. But I don't know. But if something is released month to month, then it should read good. But that's not the question. The question is basically, is there anything that we didn't like when we initially read and then revisited and liked again?
See, if I didn't like it when I initially read it, I'm not going to probably read it again. So I would say no.
Really?
Just because I wouldn't. If I read it and didn't like it, I wouldn't then buy a trade of it and then read it. You know what I mean?
There is, and I can't. This is our first casualty.
We weren't kidding about that being prepared.
Think.
Okay, there's got to be superhero books that like I started off with and I didn't want to keep reading, like that you made me go back and. Well, you. No, that's.
I like how it's like we made you go back. You know what I mean? Like
read it.
I'll go back and reread things, and like I didn't. I mean, admittedly, I don't have any examples either because a lot of the things I didn't like. What?
Fables.
Fables. And we're early in the show.
I initially read
dropped it in issues.
I did. I actually bought it for I think 16 or 17 issues because my wife was reading it. My girlfriend at the time. And she liked it, and then she kind of got distracted and I stopped buying it. But I read it for about 7 or 8 issues. And in issue form at that time, maybe I was out of work or what, I don't know, but I decided I didn't want to keep buying it. I went back, I read all the ones that, after everyone had been like, no, this is really good, I went back, I read all the ones that I'd had, which I hadn't read all of them before. And then I got the trades in very quick succession and went through it and caught up to the issues. And for me at that point, because sometimes it's not even that a book isn't good the first time, it's that you're just, for whatever reason, you don't want to add a new book. You don't want to spend any more money on books or something like that. Or you were in a bad mood to read it the first time because, I got to finish these books before dinner and then I got to do this, and you sort of rush through it and you don't get it. And so that's one that I definitely went back and...
I'm going to go back and read House of M now.
Really?
Tonight. If I can dig up the issues, because I don't have it in trade. So, all right, let's go to our next one. Thank you, Jason. So
Success on the first one.
Took a minute.
All right, and here is our second one.
Hey guys, Hank from Chicago. I was recently in my high school library when I saw a graphic novel section for the first time. I rented out Blankets, Mouse 1 and 2, and the first Fables trade. When I was checking out, the librarian asked me if I had any suggestions for graphic novels they should buy. So I was just wondering if you had any suggestions for a high school library. And P.S. I'm friends with the Around Comics guy, and I heard Josh will be there. I was just wondering when that will be. Thanks. Bye.
This will have already happened.
Exactly.
I was on Around Comics.
Go to aroundcomics.com. That's one of our favorite podcasts, and we've all been on the show.
So the high school library has blankets
and Mouse and Fables, and asking him what they should order.
I'm just saying that's a progressive library in a high school.
You should go give a high five to your librarian, because that's rad.
Are you at a private high school? Because public school, I would think that if it got around, like Fables is...
Not so much Fables as blankets.
Fables is... Well, blankets is both religious and sex. But Fables gets pretty...
Let's not worry about what they have, because they want to know what they should get.
Right, we're just commenting on...
If I can use that as a guideline to figure out the kind of stuff that they can get, you know.
I would say Bone. The complete volume of Bone.
Which, oddly enough, sounds dirtier.
But it's not.
Than either of the other things, but is.
No, but the complete volume of Bone is great for a library. Mm-hmm. You know, that one, or the nice hardcovers, that stuff, you know?
I would say the 10 volumes of Sandman would be a good one for that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. High school library. Torso. Historical fiction, nonfiction.
Is there a lot of... Because the other stuff, like his other stuff, Jinx and Goldfish, are a little more
edgy. Yeah, a little
adult.
With the curses.
I'm still flabbergasted.
You know, Ultimate Spider-Man?
Yeah.
So you get a run of that.
It's a good library mainstay.
The thing is, there's all sorts of stuff. And it's really hard, because I tend to not separate my comics.
Persepolis.
Ooh, that's a good one, yeah.
I tend to not separate my comics between the adult and not anymore, because
you don't need to worry about it,
have to think about it. So... like every time I think of a book, my first instinct is, you can't give that to kids, you know. But not that kids can't handle it, but that there's always going to be some parent somewhere who's like, I can't believe you're letting them have this, you know.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Hank, and love your library. That's awesome. All right, here's our next voicemail.
Hey guys, big fan of the show. My name's Jared, and as you guys probably know, Neil Adams and Frank Miller are going to team up on a new Batman. I'm personally really excited about it. Two greats going one issue. But around the web, there's been a lot of Frank Miller bashing. I don't know why that is. I mean, he's a legend, and all of his stuff is great besides All-Star and Dark Knight Strikes Back, but still, all of his stuff is gold. All his Daredevil.
You don't need to list stuff.
And having Dark Knights, but I was just seeing what you guys thought about this team-up.
Okay, don't say goodbye.
Pick on it.
I know. I was excited to hear Frank Miller and Neil Adams were working together on this. I'll believe it when I see it.
Right, exactly. I don't even worry about it until it's actually like this art and it's solicited.
Does it feel like Frank Miller's got a lot of projects lined up?
Yeah, it does.
He's got 2 movies in development. All of his comic projects are going to be pushed to the side.
Like there's
the Spirit and Sin City 2.
Sin City 2, and then he was supposed to be doing the Batman takes on Al Qaeda. And that's
Project
from the other
Terror.
Terror. Is it Holy Terror?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I think the thing is that with Frank Miller, I think there's such a level of expectation.
Well, but he hit it. He hit it on the head. Why is there Frank Miller bashing? Everything is good except for All-Star Batman and Robin and Batman Strikes Back, which are basically the last 2 things he did.
Yeah.
So that's why, because his track record.
You're only as good as the last thing you put out. And those old guys, and Neil Adams too. I mean, I haven't seen anything Neil Adams done in years.
You didn't read his book about the Earth expanding?
Not yet. It's on my stack.
You know what? To hear him explain it,
oh no, yes,
it sounds much less crazy than it seems.
It's still loopy, but
but it's. I mean, Frank Miller obviously is a legend, and there's nobody who thinks he's untalented. But the fact of the matter is, the last 2 things he did were not very well received. His Batman Al Qaeda announcement wasn't well received.
Well, he did one of those things like Dennis Miller did, where he did a radical 180 on his politics, and he's like, and I'm putting it into all my work, and people are like, oh, okay. Where's that coming from?
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of it also was influenced, unfortunately, by 9/11, because wasn't there a large skyscraper falling in Dark Knight Returns originally that he had to scrap quickly because of 9/11? Like, isn't that
Strikes Back, you mean?
It Strikes Back, not Returns, Strikes Back.
Well, it's just, I mean, but that's why the bashing's happening. It's not because no one respects Daredevil and the original Dark Knight and Sin
Daredevil
City
Omnibus, get it?
The last Sin City wasn't the best one.
Right, but it hasn't never been bad. Sin
No,
City's never been bad.
I feel like it's been a while since we've seen something from him.
Wasn't the Hell and Back like a collection, though?
I bought it in issues.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it was.
Yeah,
eventually,
I mean, it wasn't one store.
But like of the Sin Cities, that was kind of the weakest one of them. So I think it's been a while since we've seen his really good side.
Yeah.
You know, like since 300 or you know, like maybe the Sin City before that. But it's been a little while, and I think a lot of people were really disappointed by the Dark Knight sequel.
Yeah.
You know, and I've heard, you know, and it's rumors or whatever, but he was doing it's like he's like, I'm gonna just turn this on their head and piss off fanboys. Like those are the rumors that are going around. Who knows if they're true or not?
Yeah.
But
who knows?
that'd be why.
So, all right. Thank you.
But his work stands on its own. You know, there's volumes of stuff. It's always going to be good.
All right, thank you, Jared. All right, here's our next one. I wonder what it's going to be.
Hey guys, this is Arlen from Woodby Island, and I just had a question for you. I'm a big Marvel fanboy, and I was just wondering about getting into some good, you know, DC trades. I guess recently I just got interested in the DC from watching all of Bruce Timm's shows. You know, I watched Batman Beyond back in the day and Superman, and recently just got all of the Justice League episodes, and they're just amazing. But I realize that's also because of, you know, Bruce Timm's writing. But DC's always turned me off because of the art style, especially when I was a kid, because it never really varied that much, and it was kind of like the quasi-realistic look. But I don't know, I've been kind of thinking about getting into Green Lantern and maybe Batman, and I hear Grant Morrison's doing a really good job. So just anything you guys can think of for, you know, Batman, Green Lantern, Flash, Teen Titans, I don't know. Just throw something out there. Thanks, guys.
You did 4 of them.
It seems if you answer your own question there. Just pick one.
I think it's interesting that there's lots of people who won't read DC Comics but love the DC cartoons. There's a lot of people
I
like
was that for years.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved the DC cartoons in the 90s. I didn't start buying them until the late 90s.
What's that?
Don't stop. Don't make fun of Marvel.
I didn't know what that meant. You can't for no reason. I was going to say the DC cartoons were better.
I thought you were going to be like, chalk up to the Marvel person.
He's hypersensitive to being pigeonholed as a Marvel.
A little bit.
It's like fake persecution, though. Like, it's not like anybody's, like, 80% of people buy all Marvel books. It's not unusual. Kurt, why do they...
Sorry. I pulled my punch.
Anyways, Bruce Timm didn't write all those.
And now it falls apart.
Other people wrote them. DC's good. I'm a convert.
Although, you know, it's changed. I think a lot can be said for since Dan Didio's been around, since Bob Schreck especially took over the Batman books and Green Lantern, not Green Lantern, Green Arrow he took over, I think. Yeah. There's a whole lot of stuff.
Green Arrow. Are those in trades?
Yeah.
They should be. Yeah, check out Green Arrow.
All the 1 year later books are in trades now.
Try out
all those books you can pick up.
Go back and find Identity Crisis.
Yeah.
Identity Crisis was really the book that got me very excited about reading DC books again.
Flash got me excited about reading DC books. Both Mark Waid's run and then Jeff Johns' run.
Right now, we're 2 or 3-ish, 4 maybe by the time. Yeah, Mark Guggenheim's Flash isn't too far back. It's been really good. It's been a breath of fresh air.
Adam Beecham's Robin books seems to be people who don't read DC really enjoy that book.
Mm-hmm. Does have a lot of the feelings from the animated series, especially because
Beecham's from animation, yeah.
Right, he's from, and he worked on the JLA animated cartoon.
Yep.
Or not cartoon, series. Like they did the animated book.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Cool. So check out DC. It's fun. All right, here's the next one.
Hey, iFanboy, Darrin from California, driving down Excelsior Lane, so I thought I'd give you guys a call. Anyways, I was thinking about something the other day that I know I could go look it up on Wikipedia or something, but I kind of wanted to get your guys' view on it, because I know that would be much more entertaining. Anyways, I don't remember much, so bear with me, but remember when Superman was turned from, Superman into a being of light or energy or something like that? And he wore a containment suit that was created by Professor Hamilton, and his powers were all wacky.
I remember a lot more.
At one point, he split into two, and there's a red one and a blue one zapping around. And what the hell was DC thinking? Like, as far as I can tell, they pretty much swept it under the rug and forgotten about it. But I just want to get your guys' views on that. So you guys keep it up. Have a good one.
We will have a good one.
Electric Superman.
Well, it's not like DC forgotten and swept under the rug. It's just it was a storyline and it was done. It wasn't like they're trying to hide it.
I remember I have that issue when he was first the blue Superman.
Well, it was a big deal when, it was the whole, we're changing Superman now, and they pretended like it was going to be permanent. It was on the news, I remember like Dan Rather talking about it and stuff. But
Superman.
Yeah, exactly. When it happened, I didn't like it, but I've just a few months ago reread the Justice League books from Grant Morrison, and he's in that prominently because that's what Grant Morrison got screwed.
Yeah.
it's like after the first storyline, he's suddenly Electric Superman. But it actually led to some really interesting stuff, at least from Grant Morrison's side of things, where Superman had to learn. He wasn't so powerful. He didn't know what his powers were like. He had to learn. He had all new abilities, and it wasn't terrible.
I actually, my first comic book that I bought after not reading for a while and coming back was the Superman Forever. It was the issue where he came back from, like, he stopped being the blue and red too. So I don't understand how that worked. But I remember kind of liking it. Good, do that for a while and stick with it. It's not permanent, and it's never permanent.
Yeah.
But it was neat. He had different powers. He had different, and Grant Morrison.
2 people.
That part I didn't get.
Yeah, that was weird.
2 people.
Not all the
Did they have
time.
different
Not all the time.
personalities?
Yeah.
So this is all we.
He's making this up.
No, there were 2. There were 2.
I know that there were 2.
I remember
You're
the
making
cover
the
was the
details
both of them going in 2 different directions.
There were 2, but you're making up the rest.
I'm making up the rest. All right.
It wasn't bad. It was at least in the Justice League sense, it wasn't bad. I remember the Superman books being, but they're always.
All right, thank you, Darren. Here's our next one.
Hey, this is Darrell. I'm glad you picked Nightwing Annual 2. It was a good story, good book. I'm glad Gail Simone is going to be on Wonder Woman, but I have one question. Do all 3 of you, do you think that Dan DiDio should be fired from DC? I see the low sales, and I do, with all the delays and things going on, it's worse than Marvel right now.
That's a lot
I
coming
think
from
they need a new direction, but what do you guys think of that? Think about that later.
Wow. Should Dan DiDio be fired because of the lateness?
Didn't I just say the books were good
sales
because of Dan DiDio?
Yes, you did.
You did.
So
this is like a DC themed episode.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like firing Dan DiDio is that's kind of like firing the manager, like it's firing Billy Martin in 1987.
I don't know about those numbers though.
To me, well,
it's a bad time of year to look at the numbers. February is a dip.
Well, yeah, but what are those numbers really like? Like, what is DC there for? I feel a little bit like DC's an arm where Warner Brothers has this thing going where they can develop things so they can
that's
sell
from a business
things.
standpoint.
no problem.
Yeah.
For me, it's not so much about that. It's about the idea of there's always somebody with a pitchfork going, fire Dan DiDio and fire Joe Quesada and fire. I mean, there's always this horde of people who always want the EIC fired. And
It's like a reactionary.
I don't understand why. I've never in my life thought, fire the editor in chief.
I mean, since the DDio's come on, it's been great. As far as there have been more hits than misses.
I think he's put together what it feels to me now like a cohesive DC universe that wasn't so much before. Things are connected. You can't say that sales numbers might be down for a period, but you can't say that 52 wasn't an unrivaled success in terms of sales. I mean, basically that's 4 hit books a month that they got out of that. Yeah. That's huge. That almost probably makes up for a lot of the other lower books.
I mean, the thing is, the Wonder Woman thing seems to hurt Stung really badly. Most
which is funny because when normally the art
going to sell.
Yeah.
No, but that's the question. But I mean, but it's been like this. It's been this tentpole of dissent.
Well, now look, they had problems with Wonder Woman. They had problems with Batman. They had problems with Superman in terms of delays from high-profile writers, and that's something that he can't run away from. I mean, that's
Wildstorm. Well, he never saw for Wildstorm.
The question, on the other hand, though, is that those high-profile writers being there, are they bringing in more sales than they were losing by? You know what I mean? Like if they had just had, I don't want to say a name, but if they just had like a workaday kind of guy on it, would they have even sold the books anyway? Like Grant Morrison's books, because he was Grant Morrison, sold more Batman books. So the fact that they lost some in the middle of it, but they lost those for Batman. They lost it because of 52.
Right. I mean, I'm a big borrow from Peter to pay Paul. I mean, I'm a big fan of believing in who you got and not making a major change just for the sake of making a change. Mm-hmm. So,
I really think that the books have been good since he's been there, and I don't notice those delays because those aren't the books that, like Checkmates come out every month, and you're not reading it.
Well, Darrell is.
Darrell is.
No, but not enough if you are.
Yeah. All right, here's our last one.
Hi, my name is Vince Aiken. I'm from Columbia, Maryland. Want to say that I'm a big fan of the show. Really like what you guys have going on. Like to see something though. I'd like to see maybe an interview with Chris Bocciolo, or possibly let's see, Scott McDaniel that does Green Arrow right now. I was a big fan of his for Nightwing. So really liked what you guys did with Alan Moore, and possibly you guys could do that for comic artists. It would be really good to see. All right, keep up the good work. Thanks, fellas. Talk to you.
Oh, thanks, Vince. Those are some good suggestions. I don't think
we should probably profile some artists.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and we've talked about it. I mean, it's just a matter of we do a weekly show. There are only we've got shows planned out. We can say a lot of good stuff's coming your way this summer. It's going to be an active summer for iFanboy. So if we see Chris Bachalo or Scott McDaniel, we'll try to interview them.
What are you going to tell him you really liked his work on X-Men?
No, I'll tell him I didn't like it.
I want to see that.
I'll do it. Fuck, come on, bring it on, Chris Bachalo. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I hear you did some other good stuff. That was good. I like Generation X when he did back in the 90s, but whatever. Scott McDaniel, cool. Let's have Scott McDaniel and Chris Bachalo interview each other. We'll just back away.
You just did this.
Yeah. So there's some good suggestions. So and if you have any suggestions, or these are some great voicemails, if you have any things you want to call in and get on a future All Calls Wacky iFanboy show, you can call us at 1-888-FANBOYS. That's 326-2697. But let's talk about our sponsors.
The sponsors. If you like the movies or the TV shows or the DVDs, and who doesn't, go to www.netflix.com/iFanboy. You can sign up for a free 2-week trial there, and the plans start as low as $4.99, and that would help us out a great deal. And they've got all sorts of things. You could the JLA, Batman, and DC.
Yeah,
all those cartoons.
All those cartoons.
Watch
no
the
late,
Superman ones.
and no late fees. Keep them for as long as you want.
Yep.
So.
And you can go to GoDaddy.com if you want to have a website of some sort.
Yes, to talk about those TV shows.
Or a domain if you want to host the websites.
Yeah.
You go to GoDaddy.com and you can put in coupon code iFanboy and you get 10% off everything you buy there.
So register your domain there, host your site there, build it there.
T-shirts.
Yeah.
Stickers maybe? I don't know.
You can sell them because they have store tools is what he's getting at.
Yes, exactly. So go to GoDaddy and get your own piece of the internet.
So, and you can always email us at contact@ifanboy.com or call the aforementioned 1-888-FANBOYS.
And
numbers.
No, you can do that.
326-2697.
Thank you. If you want to talk about this show or any of the other stuff that we're talking about, you can always go to ifanboy.com. There will be a discussion thread about this show, and since we went into this one without prepping, we were wrong about something.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll tell us.
That's a good place to tell us.
Yeah.
But also, there's a lot of stuff that you can talk about if you think Dan DiDio should be working
or fired.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. Nobody deserves to be fired. So except you.
Fight!
Forget this.
All right, 2, 1.
Left the 3. You threw the whole thing off.
Who's doing the intro?
Josh, I did the last one.
Okay, yeah. All right, and
wait, hold on. What did I say?